Hey you guys, welcome to another episode of Recast. Today, me and Lunar are going to be talking about Astral Chain. If you guys don't know what Astral Chain is, do you want to explain it? I actually didn't even think about explaining it. So why did I even try to go into that?
This is why we can't get live, dude.
Right?
Astral Chain is a game about a special police force called the Neuron Task Force, and the playable characters, you pick between one of two twins, either the male or the female protagonist. Then you guys, your job in that task force is to save the futuristic world that they live in from the Chimera, which are these interdimensional beings which are wreaking havoc and destroying the world. So your job is to get rid of them. Did I do a good job?
That was great. I totally forgot they were called chimeras. I just think about the legions. Oh man.
Yeah, and then your greatest weapon to fight against the chimera
are the
is
legions.
taming the chimera, and we call them legions. So your character and a select few others have this special bond with them where you chain them with your astral chain, and you can control them, perform fancy combos, and therefore extinguishing the chimera from the world. I think that's a good way to explain it.
Did you feel bad, like during the opening when it's like they're like chaining down the chimera? I felt like awful. I was like, I feel like this is gonna be like a really dark storyline where, because like it just like appears and then it just gets automatically like chained down. And I was like, this feels like animal abuse or something. Like
no, exactly. Because when I first started playing the game, because I know that you already started like an hour or two before me, and then we jumped on the call together for a little bit. And
like
you're trying to be like, yo, I love this, I love that. I'm sitting there just like with my jaw on the floor of them, just like torturing these beings. I'm like, oh my god, like, right. I know these are the bad guys, but chill out. Like, what are you doing?
Oh man. But anyway, so we're going to go through three things. We're going to talk about our first impressions of the game, which we kind of already are actually. And then we're going to go through what we loved about the game and what we didn't love about the game. So, go ahead. What were your first impressions?
Well, first off, obviously the game is by Platinum Games, and I've only ever played Nier Automata for a little bit. I have never played Bayonetta, but I know that the game is very similar to Nier Automata from what I remember. And it does I just thought that, right off the bat, controls were wonky. Like, they were definitely weird, and that I'll save that for things that I didn't like about the game. But first impressions, I was like, how do I do that? Like, why is A not attack? Why is B dodge? Like, I was so confused. But then, you adapt to it pretty quickly once you get the control scheme down and everything.
Yeah.
But initially, I thought the game was gorgeous. I love the cell shading and the colors and just the artistic direction in general, like character design and everything was just like stunning. And the music too. Initially,
I love the music.
I know Platinum Games always does a really good job with their music and stuff, but this just it just starts off so strong and just it hits you with everything at once, and it's hard, to really absorb everything, to get everything to sink in. But between the music and literally everything is just oof.
Yeah.
First impressions of the game though were just I loved it. I wanted to keep playing it.
I like you, I only played Nier Automata, so I didn't really know what to expect because I'd only played like a couple hours of Nier. So, well, I guess by that point I played a good bit of it, but so all I knew was like, oh, this is the same people that made that game, and I like that game, so that was really all I knew about it. And I had seen some of the combat, and so I don't know, like I was definitely excited for Astral Chain, but I didn't keep an eye on it like I did for like Kingdom Hearts 3 or Kingdom Hearts 3. But
it's actually funny.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, because I normally don't keep an eye on game like new IPs and stuff like that. Like, normally it's stuff where I keep an eye on the new Pokemon games, I keep an eye on the new Smash games, I keep an eye on the new Animal Crossing game that's coming out. But this one was just randomly grouped in there where I was like, why? I'm so excited for this game. So
yeah,
I kept a decent eye on it. I wanted a decent understanding of what was going on, but I was also very scared to watch gameplay and demonstrations because I didn't want anything spoiled. So
for sure,
I was like, do I? Yeah, like, I want to be as educated as I can be getting into this, but I also don't want to have everything taken away from me, at the same time.
Yeah, was it a little bit of like I don't know if overwhelming is the right word, but like, because I feel like they actually like put you into the game pretty easily. So like you had like a pretty like base combo, like wasn't too great, wasn't anything like special, and then you get your Legion, and then you kind of learn how to play around with it. And then as you know upgrade your X-Baton, you gain new abilities and can do different sync attacks and stuff like that. So I actually liked the progression. I started this out as a question to you, and then I just kept talking. So I'm gonna.
No, it's fine. That's the beauty of a podcast. You bounce off of each other. But I think the game did do a really good job of easing you into everything because the game does have a lot. So for me, it was overwhelming just because even though I did my homework on it and I tried to understand the game the best I could before I actually played it, it was still overwhelming. Like, you've got the whole thing with, because I didn't even know about completing the orders and stuff to unlock specific things.
Oh,
and
me neither.
upgrading the Chimera, doing the skill trees, and like all the menu stuff. I completely forgot about until like halfway through my my playthrough.
Yeah.
I was just like, geez, look at all this stuff that I didn't even know about. So
yeah, no, I was trying to upgrade.
Yeah.
My baton, and I was like, I need like the second like rare material codes, and I was like, I don't have any of these. Like, where am I supposed to get these? And someone was like, hey, like check, or yeah, I think someone told me like check your orders. And I was like, the what? Come again? Because I'd first seen them, and I was like, oh, like I don't want to accept each single one of these on stream while like people are watching. It was just like kind of boring. So I think
it was the same thing when I was streaming it. You were like, check your orders. I'm like, what are those? So I checked them, and I'm sitting there just like clicking through all of them. I'm just like, wow, I'm wasting so much. I wish that there was an easier way to just accept all or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the game, it did do a really good job of easing you into everything, but it did the best that it could, I should say, because it still was overwhelming. You forget a lot of things, but that happens with every new game and everything, that you play. So.
Yeah, there's like, I feel like there's 4 or 5 different special attacks, but then you have 3 different sets of weapons that each have like, yeah, it's crazy. I'll get more into that because I actually loved that. It was, the depth of combat is really cool. What were your impressions of the story?
For me personally, I thought the pacing was good, but then it kind of like plateaued for a little bit. Like a couple of the files, it was just it like I was telling you before this. Yeah, it felt just like busy work.
Yeah,
I felt like the story wasn't really going anywhere because initially, I mean, are we gonna talk about spoilers? Like, can we talk about the actual story, or do we try to not?
Yeah, we'll put a spoiler warning in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to do it, just because that way we can actually critique the game and stuff.
Yeah.
But so the whole part where your dad gets left in the astral plane and everything, and that whole, I'm like, oh wow, like it's picking up already. Like this is crazy. Like this is gonna be like a main objective of the game.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just forget about your dad and nothing happens. A couple files, I was like, what? But
yeah,
I thought that was kind of strange. But then obviously once your sibling, because I almost said brother because I picked the girl. But once your twin sibling gets put on the Ravens and everything, and then sort of has that new edgy aesthetic to them, it starts picking up again. But like I said, for a couple files, it just felt like busy work and nothing was really going on. But once it picked up, it picked up, right? And it was fire.
Yeah, I loved fighting the homunculus. Those things were like so. I don't know, like. For me, my impression of like the story and everything was just like, this is like the most cliche anime I've ever watched, and I love it. Like that, I think that's one of the tweets I pushed out because I was like, oh, this is like that guilty pleasure anime where like you have all these like Deus Ex. Is it Deus Ex Machina? What is the Ghost in the Machine, or like the
Ghost in the Shell?
No,
that one. No,
it's like anyways. Pretty much all these like random things happen where you're like, oh, like that was convenient, or like, oh, this was like cool. Like when he like goes into fusion, and you're like, oh wow, that was like, so you're like, you have this strong power, but it could like kill you or like change you forever. Like that's the most anime thing. Was like, but I loved it. It was so good. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I forgot where I read it, but I think that there was a couple people that helped with the writing did write some animes, and I don't know which ones they were or who they were. But I did read somewhere that the story was worked on by people that did write anime and stuff. So that's really cool. I thought that was awesome.
Because it was like a simple story of like, oh, we have to save the world, and then you have all this crazy stuff happen, and it was just like, this is awesome. It's fun.
Yeah, but the pacing, like I said, the pacing was great, but it just for probably a couple hours it got boring.
Yeah,
But
I can't
I mean,
remember.
other than that,
There's
it was
one
good.
mission. I don't know if it was 6 or mission 8. Well, yeah, it was just like such a long, grueling mission. I was like, yeah, this is boring. But yeah,
Yeah,
when it
I don't
picks
know.
up
And
at
then
the
there
end.
was just some stuff that didn't necessarily like mean anything. I wanted what was his name? Kyle, like the dude with the mask. I wanted him to play like a huge part in the game, and he just like didn't.
Yeah.
So that was when I looked back on that mission. Like I liked the mission, don't get me wrong, but that's sort of what I'm talking about, where the story kind of just didn't go anywhere for a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
what's the point of this guy and everything that we're doing right now? You know, in retrospect,
Mm.
and you know, when I was playing it, I was like, this is cool, this is crazy, this is great. But now looking back on it, I'm like, that was like filler. It was really bad filler. It didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I think what I've heard is if this game does well, which it is seemingly doing really well, they're gonna do a 3-part series. So like, this is part 1, and then they'll have 2 parts afterwards to kind of fill out the story. Because there's
I
a.
would love to do that.
Did you read any of the database? All the files in there. I haven't gotten to it.
I did off stream and everything, but while I was playing, I wasn't doing it.
Mm.
But yeah, I read a lot of the stuff, and there's a lot to it.
Yeah, I haven't read any
It's
of it
crazy.
yet, but it looked like it was a very extensive lore, which is fascinating.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I feel like there is a lot to be told. I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen the epilogue or the ending, the true ending yet, so it's going to be hard
Oh,
to
is
really
there a
talk
true ending?
about it. Yeah, when you,
When you
I
finish
don't
all the
know if I read
missions?
it. Yeah, you have to beat all those extra missions in file 12, and then I
Oh.
think the story progresses, and then you get the epilogue.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I read that right. I think I read that right. I'm
Gotcha.
not entirely sure, but either way, you
Man, those
know,
missions are killer. I
so
don't know if
bad.
I'll get through those.
Yeah, I basically compared it to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix in a sense, where the game's like fun, easy breezy, like you have a good time, and
Mm.
then you get to the post game content and they just turn it up to 11. You're like, why is this so hard
All
all of a
right.
sudden?
Well, I did like 5 missions. I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. This is kind of fun. And then I just hit one, and it's just like a brick wall. I like ran face first into.
Yeah, because they put limiters on the missions, so you can't do things like healing and all that other junk. So I'm
Mm.
just like, what are you doing to me? Like even on casual, I'm getting smoked.
Oh, I should go on casual.
Yeah,
That'd be yeah. Let me try that,
I'm getting smoked on casuals, dude. Trust me,
man.
it's difficult.
Man. Okay. Well, so tell me some things that you liked. We talked a little bit about like we touched on some things, but what were some of the parts of the game that you just like really enjoyed?
I thought that boss design and whether it's just boss design like actually like exterior design and then just like mechanic wise and fundamental wise, like I thought that they were some of the best parts of the game, the boss fights, even
Mm.
though to me they were fun, they were easy, but they were also fun. So it was just because I mean I think that we talked, I can't remember if we talked about it before or not, but the the satisfaction you feel of like stringing combos and hitting the I guess they're what are they? They're not like the quick time events. They're not quick time. It's sort of like when the screen flashes and you press L and then you
Oh
start
yeah,
doing
the
crazy
sync
combos and
attacks.
stuff. Like it's so satisfying. And then stringing that together on a boss and just seeing it work and just trying different things and all the options you have and the different ways to fight the bosses. Like I thought the combat and everything, especially with bosses, was just it was so much fun.
The
It was
combat
great.
is awesome. I love the
It's so
combat
much
so
fun.
much. Like I wanted to talk about it before, but this is probably a better place to talk about it. But yeah, the combat, like 3 like different weapons that all like are good against certain enemies, and then you have what like 4 or 5 different special attacks that all are different per weapon, and then on top of that, each legion has its own sync attacks and its own affinity to a certain weapon. So like Legion, not Legion, the Sword Legion has an affinity with the baton. So you can do like the regular combo for the baton, and then use the sync attack. But then if you keep attacking, it'll do another attack, and then you can link into another sync attack. Did you? So like each one had like a specific weapon that it would be able to do like practically like 3 combo finishers with. And so like
Yeah.
being able to find that and like play around with all the different charge attacks, because some of the charge attacks would have an affinity with a certain legion. So like it was just like so much like combat packed into this game, and it's like I still haven't figured out everything to it. It's so cool.
Yeah, what you mentioned about the sync and their sync attacks, I just I remember that. But yeah, pulling off the different sync attacks, the different weapons and stuff. I mean, I honestly didn't even realize that until I started experimenting with my gameplay when it
Yeah.
came to doing the hard missions in File 12, because I started using the gun more. I started using like the
Oh
bigger
yeah,
blade more
yeah.
because like I would. But then I realized that I was doing different sync attacks with different
Mm,
legions, and I was like, wait, I didn't even realize this. Like that is super super cool.
yeah, it's awesome, and it's like not. There's a couple that kind of lock you into an attack, but for like the base combo with like your charge attacks and your soul attacks, you can dodge out of all of that. So it's like not even. It's not something that like will punish you. So like if you see an attack coming, you can still combo cancel out of it just like you would with a regular attack. And I thought that was really nice. So like they're not giving you all these new abilities, but then like punishing you for using them, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
they're encouraging you to try all these different things.
Yeah, and speaking of combat and stuff, I thought that the fact that you can basically, essentially, you can pick the way you want to play.
Mm,
So, for example, I like playing very rushdown type of things when I play video games. I'm very aggressive when I play, so I
yeah.
used the arms legion and I used the baton a lot of the time.
Okay.
So I
Interesting.
rush down, be in their face, and just be really, you know, just pull off crazy stuff and do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But then if you're someone that prefers like range, you can use like the arrow legion and then
Mm,
use your gun and fight from a distance. And I just thought that that was really cool that they put a lot of thought into, okay, if you want to be like really hack and slash, if you want to do like big damage and be like really beefy, if you want to like attack from like long range or something,
yeah.
there's something for everybody with the game. So that's what really highlighted to me the combat where, I was asking you like, oh, what's your favorite legion? You said the sword one, right?
Yep. Sword Legion's awesome.
Yeah. And I was just like, well, I like doing like big amounts of damage really, really, really
Yeah.
fast. So I like the Arm Legion. So I think that there's it, and it's different gameplay styles,
Mm,
So that's why I loved it. I thought that was, you can play the game the way you want to play it. There's no right or wrong way to necessarily play the game. Obviously, with certain fights, certain legions are more beneficial. Like you have to do specific things.
yeah.
But for the most part, you can pretty much play the game how you want. And that's great.
Mm. Yeah. For me, I think I ended up using a lot of. I like using Sword Legion with Gladius. I love like the Gladius weapon. It's so good.
Yeah. No, it was good. I mean, I used the baton the most, I guess, just because it was just really consistent, really fast, and I
Yeah.
liked it. Um,
I was surprised
so
usually because I love like thieves or just like quick attack people. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but I was surprised when I picked up the Gladius and I was actually like enjoying. Well, I enjoyed using it because I'm usually not like a heavy hitter, like slow attack kind of person. But they did the combat just so well in that game. It's awesome.
yeah, so I mean, I always say one of the best things you could do with a video game is giving people options and giving
Mm,
people a choice of how they want to play the game. And I think that in terms of the combat with this game, it knocked it out of the park. It gives you so many options. It gives a number of choices on how you want to play it. So it's perfect.
yeah. What other things did you like? I kind of enjoyed. I liked the investigation aspect to it. I think it could have been. I like the idea behind it. I'll say that. I like the idea behind the investigation, but I think it was a little like too easy at times. But
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that I saw a lot of people complaining about those actually. A lot
mm,
of people were saying that they were it was just busy work and it was just kind of weird or stuff, but it kind of immersed you a little bit more into the world and it made you interact with your environment a
yeah,
bit more. And it kind of just reminded you, like, look, aside from this crazy, cool anime looking hero, you're a police officer and you're supposed to
mm,
help. So I thought it was kind of like if you want to explore the world and take your time with it, it gave you that option. But I liked also that you didn't have to do those. You could skip through them if you want. So I thought,
yeah.
it was
That's
it was
true.
just it was just good. It was just good. I mean, I personally enjoyed the missions. I took my time with it, but then I think you said you did the same thing where towards the end you kind of just ran through it because you're like, all right, let
Yeah,
me just see what this game's about.
those last few files are just like I like would open up the menu and it would show like all the different cases, like the red cases and the blue cases. Like, oh boy, let me just
Yeah,
I'll come back to that.
I think on one of the last ones I got blue cases and like one red one. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, I didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
What was it? There's one mission that I did that was awful. It was so bad. It's like the ice cream one. Did you do that one? It was like
I actually clipped it and put it on Twitch because the clip that I have is
I think
so
I saw
funny.
that.
I was like walking and I'm like, this is seriously the mission? Some dude bumps into me, it all falls off. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Oh
It's just
man.
little things like that are so funny. I love it.
It's like
And then the
hardest
ones
thing
where
ever.
you're gathering intel and stuff, those are obviously, it's a little bit separate because there's the intel gathering missions and then there's just the typical like police work ones, like the red and blue missions or whatever. But the one, I think it was really early in the game where you had to play the little guessing game with the stupid kids that were all like
Yeah, I
look
saw that
alike.
clip too.
Oh my God. It was so frustrating, but like I laugh at it now. But
Yeah.
it's just little things like that where it really did immerse you into the game like very well.
Yeah, man, just the immersion of it was awesome. Like, I don't know, this just exploring the world and like looking around, like everything just felt so awesome. I don't know, like that's such a like generic word, but like that's all I can think of when I think of like the world and what you could do in it, what the game had to offer. It was just awesome.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. Like when it comes to like the overworld and stuff, I said that at the beginning about like first impressions, just the general aesthetic of the game and the color schemes and the cell shading and everything was just beautifully, beautifully, beautifully done. Loved
Yeah,
it.
for sure. So now that we talked about what we liked, what did you not like?
Okay, I got a couple things that I definitely didn't like. Uh, the first thing is I don't even know if I can call it a lock-on system, but
Yeah.
when you're in combat and there's a little arrow above your enemy or your target, I, I don't know if I was just doing it wrong, but I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't just lock onto one enemy. Like if something ran up to me and it came closer to what I was initially attacking, my
Yeah.
character would just run over and start attacking that thing instead.
Yeah, I don't
So
think
I
they
thought
should have.
that wonky.
Yeah, they locked the because you had to click the right stick, right? So
I something like that.
yeah, but like during combat, like I'm wanting to look around, but once you log on to somebody, if you hit the right stick, it'll switch to another character.
Mm-hmm.
So like with me trying to like look around and like get my bearings, I was like accidentally switching to another character to like attack that one.
I think that's what I was doing.
And I like have it's not like it's my fault, but I had the hardest time like throwing out my legion at enemies, like especially the ones above you. So if I'm trying to like get up into the air, I'll always like press L and it'll fly towards me, and then I'll press L again and it'll fly towards the enemy, and then I'll try to jump towards it, but I like mess up the input, and so it'll just keep flying back to me and flying back to the enemy and flying back to me, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the game gives you a mechanic where you're controlling not only your character but another character, there's only so many buttons and inputs that they can give you. So obviously they have to sacrifice something in order to get that to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lock-on system, I mean, I don't understand why, and I'm not trying to compare it to Kingdom Hearts, but I think that it's just as easy as clicking a button, that's my target, that's it.
Yeah.
And it was too easy to accidentally switch your target or to not actually lock onto your target. So when it comes to the combat, I think that is my only actual complaint is that the lock-on system just like I didn't even know that it really was a lock-on system. I just thought it just didn't work.
Yeah. Kind of mentioned this before, but there's like one mission, I don't know if it's 6 or file 8, but that one just dragged on forever. And like I don't know, like by the time I finished it I was like, I need a break. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what it was. I can't even remember what happened in it because it was just like it just kept going, and I was like, why is this happening?
Yeah, because there were things because I mentioned this earlier where I was talking about how they introduced characters or they took characters away and they just weren't brought up ever again, or their significance was really nothing. Like Kyle, like the dude with the mask, I just wanted him to do something.
Is that the one that
at the end,
he was friends with your dad, but they're
that's Jin, right?
Oh yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah, Kyle's the dude with the mask, and he's the one where you invade his. I think it's Sector 9, and you invade his base and stuff.
Yeah.
That crazy dude,
yeah,
crazy looking dude.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't do any. I thought he was going to be like the big bad or like tie into it somehow, and he just didn't. So, and honestly, like once you start File 12 and you get the recap of like, oh, like months later, these people are doing this.
Yeah.
And then you realize like Hal and him were working together. I'm like, oh my God, Kyle, I forgot about him. Oh, what's he doing?
It was so weird to me. Quick, like little like rabbit trail, but it's so weird to me that Hal was voiced by 9S, or the same people did the same voice work. So like whenever I heard him, I was like, oh hey, 9S. So that was funny.
Yeah, no, that was I didn't even know that. That's crazy. But let me think of something else. Oh, ha, ha ha. The platforming.
Oh my god, yes. I blocked it out. That's how bad it was.
Garbage.
Yeah,
Garbage.
did you actually know there was no jumping in it? Because I actually wasn't aware of that. So like when I first got control of my character, I was like, wait, where's the jump button? And I was like, oh, I'll learn that later. And then
Yeah,
it never came.
I thought that I think I did say that I thought that was strange that there was no jumping, but
Yeah.
either way, like I said, they give you all these different options. Like obviously something's going to get cut, but when it came to when you were in the astral plane and you had to maneuver from one platform to the other using the chain jump thing, and I found myself flying off of platforms, not jumping far enough, like slipping and sliding. Like I swear it was like the platforms were covered in butter. Like my character was just flying around and stuff. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah,
So I don't know if I just have like a tiny brain and I couldn't figure it out, but I mean, I saw other people complaining about it too, how the platforming just felt a little strange.
I already have I have horrible depth perception, like just garbage depth perception. So just that alone, like I'm already bad at platforming, or like I'm bad at platforming in like 3D situations, and so that was just like it was not good.
Yeah, I actually was dreading some parts of the astral plane because it just came down to a lot of platforming and stuff, and I love that place too. I love the music and I love the puzzles that it makes you do and everything. But whenever it made me have to like chain jump from one thing to another and moving the platform with the arm legion, I couldn't do it. I was so bad at it. And I don't know if that was just me being bad or if that was just like an actual flaw with the game. But I did see some people complaining about that too, so it made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I did like though how each of the legions I think had like a different movement speed. So, this popped to my head like during the last fight where like you're like flying through the air and the giant I don't even know what that was. Oh, Noah was like, or was it Noah? Or was it
it was Noah.
Girl?
It was Noah something. It was a form of Noah.
They were like destroying the platforms. You had to like jump across all the places. Did you not like that?
Dude, I didn't know what I was doing for like half the time. It didn't say like run away from it. I thought I was supposed to like just beat it up right then and there. And then I realized I'm like, oh, I have to run. So, you know, with the camera changing, like I couldn't change the camera at all. So I just had to like keep an eye on the corners of the screen for the platforms to pop up. And I was just like, no more platforming. I'm done with this. I'm good. Get it out of here.
Well, I found out like, during that section that you could, I was with the Sword Legion and it was like, he's like average speed, but then I switched to my like Gun Legion or Blaster Legion and that thing flew through the air and I was like, wow, like this is cool. Like I didn't know that each legion had like a different movement speed. Just like all these like, small details. It's so cool.
Yeah, I noticed that once. I think it was the Blade Legion where that one moves really, really slow.
Oh, right.
Really slow. Yeah, that one moves really slow.
Actually, that's like my least favorite legion. I don't really understand how it works. Probably because I got it last and I didn't really have time to play around with it. But
yeah,
like the shield breaks really fast. I can't ever like get him to like stay around me. Like he'll just like start moving and I don't know. It just was confusing and I did not like playing with that one.
I'm not going to say that I had like a least favorite legion. It's more so just the ones that I found that wasn't useful for combat was the Beast Legion. I didn't use that one at all.
Oh, really?
I used it for movement and obviously you needed it to dig up things and to like give the scent and everything. And I thought that was super, super cool. And I loved like running around on its back and just moving fast. But in terms of combat, I don't think I ever intentionally used that thing one time.
Oh, really? Yeah, it had a couple interesting moves, but yeah, the beast. I guess maybe because the beast and what is it, Berserker? What is it called?
The Blade? Is it the Blade?
Oh, is it Blade? Okay.
Is it something like that? I think it is.
Probably.
I'm gonna look it up so we stop saying the wrong names.
The beast and the Blade ones. I guess because you got those towards the end. Like I had already been locked into my Sword and Blaster Legion, so like, I was already good with those two. So I usually switch between those two between battle. So. When those guys came up, I was like, you guys are cool, but I already have my team.
Yeah, it's Sword Legion, Arrow Legion, Beast Legion, Arm Legion, and it's the Axe Legion. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Axe. I thought it was like, I don't know. I felt like Blade wasn't right. But yeah, no, I love the Sword Legion. I thought it's really, really fun to use.
Yeah.
The Aero Legion, I only really used it for camping, like far away
Mm.
type of thing. I didn't use it really when I was like close up in combat. Beast Legion, I didn't use it at all when it came to combat. Arm Legion was the one I abused it. I actually just maxed it out because I have the skill tree maxed out with that
You
one.
maxed it out? How?
I maxed it out. Yeah.
Wait, where have you found the where have you found premium material codes?
I look, I don't really know. I was just like hitting buttons and
Oh,
I
wait,
was like unlocking things.
Is your baton fully upgraded?
I think it's level 6.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I
Maybe,
threw all of my
maybe.
premium codes into that thing. And
Yeah.
what about your legatus?
Oh, that's like level 2 or 3.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
I invested a lot of my resources.
What? Okay, so can you tell me actually? This is like off topic a little bit. What? Do you know what was at the end of the tree?
Um,
Like the last 2 slots.
I'm trying to think. I think it's just ability slots and like different sync. Oh, like the last thing you get a crazy. It's not ability, or is it an ability or a skill or whatever it is? Whatever, like like when you hold down like L and you can press like Y or X and do a special attack.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah,
those.
it's just like its ultimate.
Dang
thing,
it. Because I want to do breakdowns for those, but it's gonna take me forever to like grind out all of the premium codes and like unlock every single thing. So I just finished the base breakdown should be up by the time this goes up, but it's gonna be a little bit of time before the the next breakdown comes out for that game.
Yeah. But I thought that let me see, what is it? I'm just trying to see if there's a way for me, like if I grinded it or something, because I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I think the Arm Legion, I think the ultimate one is it shoots out a gravity thing and it pulls in enemies towards it. I think that's the last one, or it's one of the last ones. So that one's useful because then you can use that and then use like the Unchained ability where it just like runs away and just like destroys whatever is around it. So finding out how you can combo things together and stuff that was really, really satisfying for me.
Yeah.
And I just love the Arm Legion, how you can become one with it and just like punch things. I thought that was so cool.
And it has its own like charge and assault attacks. So it's like the same thing as like one of your batons or gladiuses and stuff. So that was really cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other things that I didn't like, but I think that we pretty much covered everything because there wasn't really that much I didn't like. It's just little things that I didn't really enjoy.
I love how we were like, yeah, let's talk about the things we don't like. And then we just kept switching back to like, all right, doing this, or I like this.
By the way, this is my favorite Legion. I like that you do this. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a fan of the whole silent pro tag thing. I just wish that your main character talked a little bit because it kind of, I don't know. That's just me.
I feel like they probably like tried to cut down on voice lines because already like each character, because when you're talking to someone else, they'll be like, oh, your sister. So then like naturally, like if you're playing as the sister, they'll be like, oh, your brother. So like they had to like do like doubles for all of that. So I feel like they were like, let's just like not.
Yeah, the main characters essentially would have had to record their like twice as many lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, that probably would have just been annoying. But I don't know. We could just start talking about just like random things or whatever. But I loved the character customization thing. I thought that was cool. I love character customization.
I've seen so many character customizations. Oh my god, how have we not talked about this? Lappy. Freaking best character.
Lappy, dude. Oh,
why did I not make that a topic? God dang it.
Oh, Lappy.
Literally since like the second she walked in, I was like, this is the best character. I love this character. I must protect her. Oh
yeah. I already knew. I'm like, yo, Marie is hands down the best character in this entire game.
Oh man.
Marie and Lappy. Oh,
I loved like when you were running around and she would like pop out like with all these like jump scares and then it would like fake you out and then oh man, that was so much fun.
Yeah, and I can't believe that you missed that little side mission.
I know.
Where you can run around like in the Lappy suit.
I was watching you and you like walked around the corner and I was like, wait a second. I haven't done this. How did I miss this?
It's funny because I saw a screenshot of it and I just thought it was like post-game stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do this like now. Like I can play as Lappy right now.
Yeah, from what I think you can get a suit at the end. Like if you do a certain thing, probably get all the Lappy items. Because there's like 4 or 5 Lappy items. So I assume like you'll get to wear the suit. But yeah, that's I love that mascot. It's so cute.
Yeah, Lappy was just perfect. I loved it. It just, like I said, the game also just had a bunch of charm to it too. Like the
Right?
characters,
Yeah.
like some characters were a little two dimensional, but then there were some characters that I really loved. So people like, I loved Hal. I thought Hal was a great
Oh
character.
yeah, Hal was a great character.
I thought obviously like people like Marie and like Lappy, great characters. But then there were kind of more two dimensional characters. Like I thought Olive, as important as she was, didn't really stand out to me that much. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You did have that one mission with her that was cool, but I don't know. It's like
with the
I
blade
don't know.
or an axe.
Yeah. How you like the stealth mission where you're like trying to get what's her name?
That stealth mission was so much fun.
Yeah, the medic girl. What's her name? I can't remember.
Did they like each other? It's I don't know if they ever actually talked about it, but it seemed like they were a couple or like they had feelings for each other.
I think they kept making
like
the
a
whole
subtle.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, like it was like I love at first sight. Oh, I mean strictly as my friend type of thing." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Olive, it's fine, man. You could this is okay."
Right?
Just admit you got a crush on her. It's cool. So I thought that was, there were like little like charming things that I really did enjoy about the game.
Because the game didn't take itself too seriously, and I think that was a really charming thing. Where it's like they weren't like overboard trying to be funny, but they also weren't overboard trying to be like dramatic. It was just kind of like, this is like a passion project. Like let's just have fun with this.
Yeah, it was a really nice it was a healthy balance of everything, which I really liked. So I mean but the ending of the game just made me. It hurt me. It really hurt me. I loved the dynamic between you and your twin, though. That was very good. When they all of a sudden randomly
I hated the twin actually.
Stuff, really?
Yeah, she was always like really like what's the word? Just always like super cold for like no reason. And I was like, what?
It was
I didn't
trying
do
to be
anything.
like edgy and stuff. I don't know. That's like because I mean I had the guy twin obviously.
Yeah.
And when your twin all of a sudden decides to dress up in like the Raven attire
that
and
was
like
awesome.
it's like red and black. I thought it was so cool, but I was just like, yo, Edge. Look how edgy you are.
Yeah.
Oh, I instantly thought of like Shadow the Hedgehog. It's like, yo, between like Sonic and Shadow, I was like, yo, this is instantly. I was like, yo, out the Edge. What are you doing? Dressed in black and all that stuff. But that entire sequence was really cool.
Yeah, the ending.
I thought there was gonna be like a much bigger thing of them like betraying you and stuff, but your twin sort of stayed loyal to you the entire time, which I thought was just that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I didn't want to have to like whoop my twin's ass.
Yeah. That's all I can think of. I don't know. Do you have any other things that you enjoyed?
I mean, I just love the music a lot.
Music is great. I love the hub world. It was just so. I could listen to that for hours.
Yeah, when it's like the neuron headquarters or whatever.
Yeah.
That so good. God, it hits. And then the Astral Plane music is so good too.
Yeah.
It just everything was just crazy good. And then when you I think it was playing when you merge with your Legion for the first time.
Oh,
and you just go like ballistic and stuff, and that song's playing in the background.
Is that the intro song or?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
No, because the intro song. Savior is a bop. I love that song. Oh, I listen to that like on my way to work and stuff. I just
do.
I'll
awesome.
be your savior. So good.
Yeah, when you fuse that, I love that part. It's so cool.
It was epic. That was like the part of the game where my jaw really started to hit the floor. This entire oof.
I think I only hit fusion though after that like twice. Like I feel like they need to like fix that bar or something because it took forever to build that up, and it goes away,
really.
Like,
I thought it was going to be a little bit easier for sure.
Yeah.
Naturally, when it comes to things, off the top of my head, I got to say Kingdom Hearts. How dry? Like as a kid, I never used dry forms.
Yeah,
like, when playing Kingdom Hearts 2 because I was like, okay, I really want to use this one. I feel like I have to use it. But now that I'm older and I understand that the bar actually fills up pretty fast, you can abuse it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to this game, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to just throw it out and use it. And I used it against Yosef once, and that was it.
Yeah.
I thought it would just build up a little bit easier. So even in these like side missions or the missions in File 12 where I'm struggling and I'm like, oh, this form would come in handy. There's no way for me to really grind up the bar and then to go in and use it when I need to use it.
See, I used my fusion on a side mission on like a random like low level chimera, and I finished, and I was just like, uh oh, because I like tried to start building it up, and I was like, this is bad.
Yeah, that entire like fusion thing is so cool. Like when it
Yeah.
first happened, when you start attacking your twin and stuff, I thought,
Uh,
oh god, it was so cool.
yeah, it was awesome.
Though, like you said, I just wish it was a little bit more of a like I don't have to use it every fight type of thing, but I wish it was just easier to build it up and use it like at least once per battle type of thing. I don't want to have to spam it or
Yeah.
whatever, but I want to be able to use that a little bit more freely.
Yeah, there's an item that I bought that like automatically fills your fusion bar, but I think it's pretty expensive. But it's just like,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
But that doesn't
so-
help me because with these missions, you can't use items. So
Oh, right. That's
doesn't
how,
even work.
I was thinking like, oh, I can use that for the next mission. Nope.
Well, can you use it when you're at the headquarters before you click the mission? Maybe. I
Oh,
don't even
yeah, you probably can do that.
know. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, me too. Oh man. Well, it's probably a good spot to end it. I don't know how long we went for because I don't have like my little timer anymore. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the last text that I didn't respond to, and that was about 45 minutes ago. So
okay, cool. That works.
yeah, it's pretty solid. But overall, with the game, I thought it was perfect in many ways. But I think that there were also things that they definitely could have tweaked or just worked a little bit more on.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I personally give it like an 8 out of 10. I thought it was great for like a brand new IP. You know, for something that I don't normally do. I don't normally buy games like this, and
Yeah, especially new.
Yeah, there's brand new games like that, and I was like, it's a game coming out for the Switch. It looks fun, so I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And if people like Nier Automata, I highly recommend just getting this one because I think it's I personally, in my opinion, think it's better in terms of the combat and everything.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the story and everything else other than that, but
Holy crap, dude!
if you
The
like
story
the whole
for
Yeah.
Nier is like,
does it get good?
I love like the I don't even know if it's philosophical, but like the like, yeah, the I don't even know if it's deep. I just love like the Nier storyline right now. It's fascinating.
I'm gonna have to jump back into it because earlier today when I was looking for some of my Switch game cases, because I still have a bunch of my stuff when I moved out of my apartment, but I found the Nier case and the games in it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna give this game another shot then.
Yeah, you should.
I don't know, but I mean, this game is definitely more linear than Nier. I think Nier is definitely more open world. You can run around and do what you want, but I feel like this game's a little bit more basically just go in this direction.
Yeah.
But not to say this game's linear. I just think it's more linear than Nier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have those like investigation parts where you can look around, and there's there's a ton of stuff during the place, like the first level. There's like a secret item like way off in the distance.
Oh.
And sorry if I ruined the surprise of that, but
no, I didn't know. I'm curious.
It's cool how they like, it's not just like a hallway where you run down and it's like a textured hallway. It's like there's stuff in the background and like items everywhere, so it's pretty cool.
Cool.
But
I gotta go back. How do you go back and like? Can you go back and play through the files again?
Yeah. So on your computer, you can go back and get to file select. You gotta be careful though, because it'll lock you into some of the places. Like you can't open your menu to go back. So like the first mission, you have to complete the bike mission, or like you'll just
so basically it throws you in, but there's no way to get out. Like you have to complete it in order to go back to like the where you are in the game. Basically, is what you're saying.
No, you can.
Like you have to complete
cancel out. There's just like some parts and missions where like it like locks you out of your menu. So
like that.
At those points you can't. But
okay, that's good to know.
It was a little confusing. Did you? So last thing, I accidentally like reset my entire file when I was trying to change difficulty. I don't know if you ever did that, but yeah, it didn't tell me. Well, I probably just didn't read it, but I was playing casual and I was like, oh, like let me go to like normal. So I like went over to normal and it reset the entire file, and I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah,
I don't know why it wouldn't it didn't warn you or anything.
It probably did. It probably just didn't read it. But I like clicked it. It like started to fade out, and I was like, wait, no.
Oh my god! Oh, I would have been so heated if that happened. Yeah, Usually when I play through games the first time I play through, like not on like the easiest difficulty, but there wasn't really like an easy difficulty. This was more so, yeah. I mean, because I never played the game before. I just want to play through it, get the story, and like understand it, and then I'll challenge myself.
Yeah.
So
I've actually been going through Kingdom Hearts on beginner, and it's been like really fun, to be honest. Like I don't have to like worry about like dying, so I can just kind of mess around with mechanics. It's been nice.
Yeah, I've actually considered doing something like playing through on beginner, but not doing things like not healing, like not having items or not having cure equipped, just to see if I can do it. So doing little challenge runs on like easy difficulties like that, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe that's an idea. Why not?
We should probably I keep getting off on tangents, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, why not check out Lunar's channel and Twitter with the handles, below his name. If you want to say anything, go ahead.
Man, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys what
I'm so bad at ending things. I need to like write myself a script.
That's fine, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed me and Bio talking about Astral Chain. Like I said, the game gets a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I absolutely adored it. So I highly recommend you guys go pick it up. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much everything I got to say about this, because I feel like you got all my information plugged and everything to talk about.
Yep, I'll have it in the description and probably put in the comments section. But yeah, I mean, Remind trailer probably came out while I was editing this, so we'll probably have some Remind stuff for you guys if you're into Kingdom Hearts, and if you're not, and you're here for the Astral Chain discussion, I said that weird. Cool. We're mainly Kingdom Hearts YouTubers. Well, I am. I think you're starting to branch out to other games.
I mean, I'm like 50-50 Kingdom Hearts and Smash for the most part.
God, why did I not make a script for this? But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next recast episode.
We're gonna talk about that Remind trailer.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I'm so excited for that.